Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Glow Up Guide. Um, so this was supposed to be a birthday episode because my birthday fell on a Monday. I was like, oh, Monday, why not? But here we are, 2 weeks later. But yeah, I'm 15 now. 15 in 2 weeks, but that's besides the point. So I thought it would be fun to do a birthday episode on like some life lessons from past year-ish, a year older, possibly a year wiser, hence the name of the title. Just kidding, maybe. Anyways, so I've learned a lot over the past year, some fun things, some sad things, some hard things, whole away. It has been a pretty darn important year because I am now in high school and that has taught me a lot to say the least. Um, but before moving on, let's do podcast updates and life updates. So for podcast updates, I'm actually really, really close to 2,000. I just checked and it's at 1,992. So it's you guys are gonna help me get to 2,000. So I really hope this podcast gets to 2,000, preferably by the end of this week. Actually, no, I would hope by like tomorrow. So yeah. Anyways, life updates. So a lot of things have happened and they also haven't. Like honestly, I've just been doing a lot of homework because like winter break's coming up and my teachers are all trying to finish stuff up before the break. Um, so that's fun, I guess. And I just have like an insane amount of homework to do. And there's also like a scholarship application I'm trying to do, and then like track, and my life's chaos. Anyways, but my birthday party was last Sunday, so like a week ago, pretty much. And I did it at like a laser tag place. It was actually really fun. So we had two games, and then the first time we got absolutely crushed by this group of like 10-year-olds and then two of the parents. And then the second time, my group, because like for the party we had like what 9 people, and we were split into two teams. And then my team, we won. We beat. It was me, the 10-year-olds, and then the other team for my party. But it was really fun. um, so yeah, anyways, great way to turn 15. And then my first track meet, well, not my first track meet, but the first track meet I competed in was last Wednesday, and it was interesting to say the least. I mean, I was only in school for like 2.5 hours because you have to leave really early for track meets. Like, because for my cross country meets, I would literally miss like my last class or like most of my last class. Um, but no, I literally missed. I was there for 20 minutes of Spanish. I missed all of art and I missed all of my study hall. So that's interesting. It's a big change, but thank God it was just those classes, so like I didn't really miss much. I mean I missed a quiz in Spanish, but that's besides the point. Spanish is actually really easy, so I don't really care about that. But we were in the cold for 5 hours straight because the meet started at 12:30 and ended at 5:30. And I had to run the mile, which is like 1,600 meters. I did terrible. Like I paced myself so bad for any of my runners out there. I ran it in 7 minutes and 52 seconds, which is not good. Because a month ago at our time trials, I ran a 7:56, and I was like, the day I run more than an 8 is the day I quit track. All my friends think I'm joking. I'm actually so serious on that. If I run more than an 8-minute mile on any given day, I'm quitting track. Like, because what am I even doing at that point? Um. Anyway, so before moving on, let's do one thing we're grateful for and one thing we're happy about, plus our book of the week. So one thing I'm grateful for is it's kind of inspired by like this thing I saw today, and it was like this girl, and she was like, "My parents might not be rich, but they have always gotten me everything I could ever need and want." And I was like, that kind of relates to me because like, sure, I might not be from a family of like millionaires, but I have had every single thing that I've wanted and needed and could ever want. So I'm really grateful for that because I know there's a lot of people that have a lot less than I do. Um, so yeah, I'm just really grateful for that. Anyways, and then one thing I'm happy about is it snowed today. Actually, it snowed in like at like night, and it's really really cold in the morning tomorrow. Like it feels like it's supposed to be 9 degrees, and at some point it's supposed to be like 1 degree. I'm actually dead serious. I wish I was kidding, but there's a 2 hour delay for school tomorrow, and I'm really really hoping it might get canceled. I doubt it though, so that's fun. But I'm really happy about that. And then, anyways, our book of the week. Don't have one. I'm quite literally reading To Kill a Mockingbird for English right now. I don't even have the time to read. I don't remember the last time I've read a book for fun. I think that was 2 months ago for about 20 minutes because then I had to go do something. But yeah, that's my life in a nutshell. Anyways, so life lesson number one is that change is hard but necessary. And that's something I learned through my not so easy transition into high school. Change is great and it's a very necessary part of life whether you like it or not. Without change, we remain static and kind of stuck. We don't grow and we don't move anywhere. We don't learn new things. We don't push ourselves outside of our comfort zone. change is needed in order to achieve all of those things. Um, Change forces us to adapt and think, and those are things that foster positive growth. I remember when I first moved 4.5 years ago, I guess at this point, I was so nervous and sad and honestly kind of lonely. But then I made friends and I started soccer and I did things and it was great. And now I could not be more thankful for all the things that have happened to me because of the move, all the amazing things that have happened, all the amazing opportunities I have opened myself up to, and I have met the people who I genuinely could not imagine my life without, and the people I know I'm going to stay in touch with even after I go to college somewhere far away, or whatever I choose to do. Moving has brought me so many opportunities I don't think I would have ever had if I if I didn't move. I do sports now. I run, and that's something my 10 or 11-year-old self would have died laughing at. I despised sports, especially running, with a burning, raging hatred when I was younger, and now running is my life. It is everything to me. How I run 10 laps around a track by choice. So that's something that really means a lot to me, and change has brought me to so many new amazing places and so many amazing people. I was terrified when I first started track and running and all of that. Of course I was. But that change is now my new normal. Running is just a fact of life now. I'm just I'm a runner. That's what I tell people. That's who I am. And that's how change works. When I started high school, let's just say I was not prepared for that transition, to say the least. It was insane. I was staying up until 11 nearly every night, wow, and doing homework almost the entire day for at least one day on the weekend just to stay afloat in school and not flunk out my freshman year. It was hard and it was sad, but now I'm used to it, and I do go to bed at reasonable times most of the time. High school is just that now. It's just a fact of life, and I've learned to manage everything and put my time management to ultimate test to get everything done. But change brings you so many good things, and it has taught me so many things, and that's just a crucial thing I've learned, especially through this past year. Life lesson number 2 is that time management, it only gets more and more important as you go throughout life. Elementary school was just the sunshine and lollipops time in life. I didn't really do anything besides cry over freaking coloring inside the lines and playing outside with my friends all day after school and on weekends. The saddest times were when it rained and I couldn't go outside. Honestly, what the heck was that? Um, those were honestly the best days. Middle school was also mostly pointless. I didn't really do much until 8th grade when my schedule changed and we had to do everything at home. And I thought that was bad until high school, where I am now, struggling to manage track, school with 3 honors classes, 5 clubs, being a tutor, volunteering, podcasts, my almost non-existent social life, and I'm supposed to sleep at some point. So it's a lot. And I know that only gets worse when I get a job and when I enter junior year, which everyone knows and constantly tells me is the year of hell. I have friends who are juniors and they're like, enjoy being a freshman. I'm like, okay. Um, and then when I go off to college, time management, it only gets more and more important as I go on with my life. When I finish college and get an actual job and all of that, time management is only even more important. And I'm going to keep having more and more things to add to my plate. And the only way I won't drown in all those responsibilities is if I get my act together and make every single 24 hours worth it. So time management is just crucial to life. And that's something I learned kind of the hard way this past year with my transition in high school. Good time management is honestly a life skill. This is the kind of stuff that we should be learning in school, not the freaking, I don't even know. What am I doing in history right now? We're learning about Greek philosophers and shit. I'm like, how is this supposed to help me in life? I genuinely don't understand, but that's what we're doing. And I have had friends that are telling me they are literally graphing imaginary numbers in math. I was like, wait, what? And I was so confused. And she was explaining it to me for 10 minutes. And I was like, so you're graphing numbers that don't even exist? And she's like, yeah, you got the main point of it. And I was like, but how do you graph something that's not even real? The number kind of has to exist for you to do that. That's kind of how math works. And she was like, I don't even know. And that's the type of stuff I'm supposed to be doing next year. So low-key scared, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but yeah, time management skills though, that's something that's going to really stick with you for life. So you want to make sure you set yourself up for success every damn day, because otherwise you will drown. Most of my listeners are on the younger side. Maybe there's some high school students listening to me right now. And it's really important that you hone in on your time management skills now before it's too late and you're drowning. Don't let that happen to yourself. Lesson number 3 is that you should really start thinking in the long term instead of the short term. Right now, my brain is always focused on what's happening now. My mom always asks me about random stuff that is happening on this weekend. She's like, "Oh, what's happening this weekend?" And it will literally be Monday, and I will be like, my response is always, "My goal is to get through today." I'll worry about Saturday on like Friday night or Saturday morning. Not a right now me problem. I'll let my future self handle it. Well, when that time comes, my future self really hates my past self. So don't do that to yourself because I do this nearly every single day. I always have these like stupid guided notes for history review. I was actually just doing them. Um, Basically, we have to read like a text and answer about 4 million random pages questions about it, and it's all handwritten, so it takes hours to do. Like, tell me what our high schools what is this obsession with like handwriting everything that my high school teachers have? Like, do you hate me? Hello. So yeah. Anyways, but that's fun, and I'm constantly staying up until like 11:30 the day before they're due to finish these stupid notes, and that's due to like short term thinking. I'm like, if it's not due tomorrow, I'm not doing it. Which is not a great way to go about life, but that's besides the point. Anyways, so lately, more like in the last 2 weeks actually, I have really been trying to focus on thinking long term, and I'm like breaking down my long assignments, like the notes I just mentioned, and I'm doing a little bit over each day until it's due. Obviously, term thinking isn't entirely useless, but it's also not ideal. Thinking about how choices will affect you in the short term and the long term is really important. For example, you might think eating an entire package of cookies isn't a good idea at the moment, but later on, you're really just gonna like feel super guilty and possibly sick because, well, you eat an entire package of cookies without really thinking about it in the long term. So, for those of you who have the same problem as me, I know a lot of people actually do have this problem, but it's like breakouts are another issue. Like, I know a lot of people like myself who avoid sugar because it gives them breakouts. So, thinking in the long term can really save your bum sometimes. Um, Lesson number 4 is that you cannot waste your time on the people that don't care about you in turn. I'm no longer close friends with the people I would have considered my closest friends, people I couldn't live without a year or two ago. And I'm fine with that. People change. I've changed a lot too, but you really just can't waste any time on the people that don't actually give a shit about you because at a certain point, it just gets so exhausting and so draining. And you're going to give up on that friendship. Give up now while you still have your own peace and your own happiness. Don't let this other person or these other people suck it all out of you before you give up. Because then you are left with absolutely nothing. Those people that don't really care about you just don't deserve your time and energy and pain. You are just going to give and give and give in the hopes of saving this friendship or something, but it's just never going to work because friendships are a two people thing, not just one. And you're just going to keep getting a whole bunch of like one-sidedness back, and you're just going to keep losing and losing and losing until you finally give up. So just give up now while you still have, yourself. Um but yeah, such people, they will give you absolutely nothing in return no matter how much you give them. And honestly, that just goes to show that some friendships just aren't worth it, and you have to accept that. I've accepted that over this past year. My friend circle has gotten smaller and smaller as the years have gone on. But I would rather have fewer friends that actually cared about me than um a whole bunch of friends that didn't really care. Choose the people that care because they're the ones that will choose you in the long run. Surround yourself with good people that do care about you, and they will actually choose you every single time. It is so much easier and life is better. Um sure, friendships aren't really just ever super easy, at least the ones that mean something, but when you're with the right people, it feels easier. Always pick quality over quantity because that's the choice that will make you the happiest, and you should always aim to choose happiness whenever possible. Life lesson number 5 is to not make impulse purchases, especially if it's going to cost you. I do this a lot with clothes. I don't really think too much before buying them. I barely try things on, but now I've really been working on like thinking hard before purchasing things, namely clothes. Like on Saturday, more like 3 weeks ago, I was at Aeropostale and I found some cute jeans in my size and they were expensive. Well, I mean, it was buy one, get one free. So it was like 2 jeans for what, 60 some dollars, which isn't too terrible. But by the way, if you have an Aeropostale near you or like just buy online, their jeans are actually amazing. And they're really cheap right now because they have a sale. So I definitely recommend buying them. Anyways, instead of just buying them, I really thought about it. I was like, oh, what tops can I wear with this? I tried them on, I overanalyzed, and I ended up buying both of them, and it was worth it. And it's always so much better to really think about things before buying them rather than making just an impulse purchase. Now, if I'm buying things online, I make sure to look at the size charts and reviews and look at the ones with photos to make sure I'm spending my money somewhere worthwhile. Buying clothes online is really difficult though. I always say that everyone wants to be skinny until you try buying clothes. It's a literal nightmare. But yeah, not making impulse purchases is a habit that will help your sanity and your wallet. That way you don't accumulate a whole bunch of things you never really wanted and your bank account will thank you. The money can go towards something that's actually worth spending your money on. The point is, don't make impulse purchases. Bad spending habits are not what we need, and that's something I have been learning through my honestly nightmarish shopping experiences. All right, moving on to life lesson number 6, which is that pushing yourself to do hard things can get you so much further than you ever thought possible. So back in April, my mom kind of forced me to start track. And sure, it sucked. I sucked, but I loved it. I discovered a true and genuine love for running through this, and I ended up quitting soccer. And as the time went on and the season ended, I got a tiny bit better. Kept training over summer, tried out for cross country. I originally started out with a 33-minute 5K when I started running, which went down to a 31:25 at the start of the season and then dropped to a 26:54 by the end of the season, which is a lot of progress. And now with winter track, even though I only made the team because there were so few girls trying out for distance, I suck a lot less than I did back in the spring when I started track. The whole point of this is to prove that pushing yourself to do the hard things instead of just giving up is only going to make you a better person, and it's only going to make you better at whatever the thing is. So, yeah, there's a saying that goes, there's no comfort in the growth zone and no growth in the comfort zone. Actually, wait, I think it's the other way around, but that's besides the point. Anyways, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is the only way to grow and become better. The goal is to always grow because growth will get you where you want to be in life. And that's something I really learned over this past year of being alive. We might not always like to do the hard things, but it's very necessary to do them. Life lesson number 7, take every single opportunity while you can, while you still can. Because if you don't, you'll probably regret it later. And it's always better to regret the things that you did do instead of regretting the things you never worked up the courage to do. And this is kind of how I've been leading my life since I started high school. I am taking every single opportunity out there while I still can, which has been kind of getting me into trouble recently, but oh well. Honestly, like all my teachers in 8th grade, they were like, you guys should really take advantage of any opportunities you get because, especially like since you're starting high school, you can have the time and ability to do that because later on you're just gonna get busier and busier and you're gonna have to like slow down on things. And I was just like, oh, okay, so that's kind of how I've been leading my entire life. I'm just like, someone mentioned something, I'm like, oh, sure, sign me up, I'll do it. So yeah, I am a firm believer in the fact that you only live once and you should make the most out of your time on this earth. And coming from experience, it's always so much worse to regret what you didn't do rather than what you did do. I regret starting track when I wasn't exactly prepared for that. But what I regret even more is not starting track earlier on in middle school. Oh my god, if I did that, I don't even know how good I would have been by now. But anyways, the point is to do whatever you want to right now while you still can, because if you wait even a moment too long, opportunity slips too far, and you'll be forever stuck with the thought of what if. Don't do that to yourself because I know from experience that it sucks. If you are presented with a really great and true op- uh, opportunity, don't think about it too long. The universe presented this to you for a reason. This is part of life's plan. Things don't just happen out of nowhere for no reason at all. Every single thing always happens for a reason, even if that reason doesn't always show through or make sense right away. The reason is there, and that's all that counts. So don't think too long and just do it while you can. Okay, so now we're about like halfway through. Time for number 8. Live in the moment while you still can because life is too short not to do so. Life is short. We are blessed with the gift of life, but it is only so long that we have on this earth. And that is something I've really learned, that something that has really hit me hard in the past year is the sheer importance of living in the moment. Live now because you can't live now later. You have to make the absolute most of every moment and squeeze every last drop out of it. Otherwise, that was a big fast waste of time and pain and energy. Living your life to the absolute fullest possible is so important because you want to have loads of memories and remember things that actually matter to you when you are old and rotting and barely able to move at 90 years old or something. You want to remember living a great life full of joy and happiness. Living in the moment and not wasting and wishing your life away is genuinely so important, and I can't stress this enough. I've really come to understand this in the past year. I'm in 9th grade. I have a long way to go in life. Yes, that's true, but I'm also getting older. I turned 15 about a week ago, and that's 3 more years until I'm an actual adult. Little under 4 years until I head off to college, and God knows what I'm going to end up doing with my life after that. So I am making as many memories as I possibly can right now. I don't want to be old and yucky and full of regrets and what ifs because that's just sad. I want to feel happy and fulfilled and not have any regrets, at least not over the things that I never did. I'll be happy to regret the things I did do because at least I was brave enough to do so. But I'll never be happy over regretting what I didn't do. You have got to stop wishing to be somewhere else because before you know it, it's all gone. It just disappears right in front of you. Lesson number 9, take your own damn advice. Okay? I am definitely the exact type of person who will suddenly have the wisdom of like some spiritual guru whenever someone needs it, but can barely get through my own daily life without epically screwing something up. Or very nearly epically screwing something up. So take your own damn advice. Obviously, keep helping other people in your life that matter to you and keep helping them out. But also help yourself out when you need to. I've really been practicing taking my own advice in these past 2 years, and it has made a big difference in my life. Every time I'm faced with a problem or struggle, I ask myself what advice I would give to a friend or someone in that situation, and suddenly the supervised version of me has something to say. And that's kind of how I've been handling everything in my life. I actually am a good problem solver. It just doesn't come out until I'm trying to help someone else with a life crisis. Like if I'm actually trying my absolute hardest to give myself some advice and figure out the most simple crap, I I just can't. I will give up so easily. But if I'm trying to help someone else, I will try as hard as possible and not stop until the solution is staring at me right in the face. And that's how I need to be with myself. We treat other people a lot better than we treat ourselves when it really should be the other way around. I mean, obviously keep helping other people, but like don't treat yourself like shit. Anyways, so you really should take your own damn advice and just be done with the whole situation because that makes your life way easier and so much better. Life lesson number 10, and honestly, this might be one of the top 3 most important ones that I hope stick with you. Actually, no, the most important one is that other people's opinions genuinely do not matter. They just don't. I am the type of person who genuinely does not care about what other people think of me, no matter who they are. Parents, friends, teachers, absolutely anyone. The only opinion of myself that I will pay any mind to is my own opinion on myself because that's the only one that actually matters. People say I should care more and that would make my life so much better, but I think the exact opposite. In my opinion, I'm doing a million times better than the people out there who overanalyze every little tiny minor detail of absolutely everything. Letting other people's thoughts and opinions rule over your own life when it should be your own opinions ruling over your own life is just stupid. I understand it's human nature to care about what other people think, not just human nature, it's how we used to survive millions of years ago. People stuck together in tribes and hunted and such to survive. It's a basic fact of humans. We want other people to like us, but it goes to an extent. Some people like dark chocolate, some people like milk chocolate, some people like white chocolate, and then there's the people who just don't like chocolate at all, who are honestly depressing in my opinion. You will never be able to please everybody, is the point of my stupid analogy. Okay, so I need to work on coming up with better analogies for stuff. Clearly. Anyways, that's a future me problem. So let's just say like you're one type of chocolate, okay? And no matter how much you change yourself, you will never be able to make everyone happy. You will never be able to be another kind of chocolate. So choose to make yourself happy instead because that's the option that will never fail you. Case in point, their opinions just don't matter. There's not really much more to say than that. Lesson number 11. We're actually on to like the last third of this episode is to take the damn compliment. I feel like we're taught to just keep our successes quiet and to ourselves. Nope, not the way to go. Wear your success loud and proud. I hear this all the time. Like I'll compliment one of my friends' hair or nails or something, and they'll be like, "Oh no, something, something, something." I'm like, "Take the damn compliment. You got it for a reason, so accept that reason. Just say thank you. Be happy about it. End of discussion." I also feel like women and girls, especially, are told to just be humble and not let their success overshadow other things. They are taught to keep quiet about their successes, and I think that's a complete pile of bullshit and stupid. If you worked really hard on something, then you deserve to talk about it. Let others know. Wear it like a hot pink bow in your hair. Make it seen. You worked hard for it, so you deserve it. Success shouldn't have to be downplayed because that's just dumb. Celebrate the good things and learn how to take a damn compliment. We always pick out every little flaw about ourselves and think that we don't deserve the compliments, and I'm here telling you that you do. You do deserve the compliment. So just be graceful and take it. Lesson number 12 is that you should really try clothes on before you buy them. Kind of a dumb one, but it's still important. I love to look at clothes and window shop and all of that, but if I have to actually buy stuff, then it requires maybe 2 weeks to a month of mental preparation and at least a few tears beforehand and during. So it's sad. I'm not joking. I really wish I was kidding, but I actually despise buying clothes for myself to wear because then it just becomes the absolute last thing I want to do and I hate my life. Also, no one makes clothes that are actually meant for tiny people. People make clothes for people who wish they were tiny. So that sucks. And this is something I have really adapted myself to with the sheer number of shirts I've had to rehem and clothes I have returned due to online sizing being completely and utterly useless. So I really recommend buying clothes in person or buying them online, where you have bought clothes in person and you know your sizes really well. I hate buying clothes online, but most of the time I'm forced to because my size is always out of stock in store in a lot of places. They don't carry petite sizing or double extra small like in store. Um, but I have altered enough of my clothes in some way or the other. I guarantee you at least half of what's in my closet has been altered in some way or the other, which is kind of sad, especially over this past year. So I definitely know that like if you can, you should always buy your clothes in store instead of online. I only really buy things online and don't end up returning them. Like for example, there's this like one top from Old Navy that I absolutely love, and whenever they go on sale, I always end up getting a new color because I know my size in those tops, so it's fine if I buy it online. That's a scenario where it's fine if you buy things online, but case in point, online sizing sucks, and you should avoid buying things online whenever possible. Life lesson number 13 is that the saying a clean space means a clean mind is really true. So since I've started high school, I have gotten really flipping busy, like insanely busy. My calendar gives my mom anxiety, and my friends stare at it in shock when I show them. My Google Calendar is honestly my life at this point. I think I would end up dead without it. It means that much to me. Anyways, I'm a very busy person. I take 3 honors classes. I try to maintain a 4.0 GPA. Currently doing track. I'm in 5 clubs, technically 6. Volunteering. I have a podcast. I tutor low-income kids online, and I'm maintaining a hardly existent social life. Oh yeah, and I have to find time to sleep at some point. So, result of all that busyness is a very disastrous room. I actually used to be really good about cleaning my room every week like clockwork, and I still do, but my room will literally look like a tornado blew through it the day after, sometimes the end of the very same day. So that's not very fun. My room gets very messy easily these days because I'm either in school, sports, or my room. So I spend a lot of time doing my homework in here, and it gets very, very messy. Especially me getting ready. Oh my god, me getting ready is like the apocalypse happening. So that's fun. At the moment, my desk has been taken over by nail stuff that I can't find the time to clean, so the floor has become my new desk. There's barely enough space for everything. I can't even walk without performing an obstacle course style performance. But back to my original point, cleaning things up and being tidy is very important to leading a good life. Maybe 2 years ago, I used to be a really, really messy person. And I kind of just accepted myself like that. It was a fact of life. But now I have like somehow become a person who can't just like I just can't function in such a mess. One time I started cleaning and I just started functioning like that, so now I can't function if my room is messy. I mean I can, but like I just get distracted and such a lot easier. But if you keep your space clean, like you will get distracted so much less and your brain function will increase and you'll be so much more productive. You'll waste a lot less time finding things and your life will generally be improved. So, establish habits of cleanliness and tidying up. Literally 5 minutes a day is all it takes. So, I believe you. You can find 5 minutes. Um, Even a busy person like me can do that, but just doesn't. I'll work on it though. But just find 5 minutes, set a timer, and clean as much as you possibly can. It sounds so simple, and it actually really is. Yet it makes such a huge impact on your day-to-day life. Okay, so we're almost done. Life lesson number 14, which is that we all have bad days. We all have our off days where things aren't going quite great and we hate our lives. For me, I had one of those days. My first meet last week, I couldn't find anything in the morning. I was running crazy late, ended up sprinting to my bus, forgot a notebook, and ended up frantically calling my mom to panic for my friend's phone because I had no service, and ended up forgetting my running shoes, a hoodie, and my puffer coat. So I was going through it, but everything worked out in the end, and that's what really matters. But the point is, not every day is picture perfect. And that's something I've really learned from my experience this past year. Well, not really this year, more like since I started high school. Some days are honestly perfect, and some days I would really love to forget about entirely. And that's really just how life is. We all have our ups and downs, the good moments and the bad moments, the highs and lows, and we need to learn to be okay with that. So sometimes we're just going through it a bit, and I was like I was last Wednesday. Some days are absolutely perfect and great and sunshiny, and that's amazing too. We have to learn to be able to accept both the good things and the bad things because without the good things, the bad things suck more, and without the bad things, the good things are well less good. Good and bad have to coexist in life. Otherwise, there's no point in really doing anything. It's perfectly normal to have a bad day every now and then, or maybe more than every now and then. Bad days are normal. It's literally just a fact of life, and the sooner you learn to accept that, the sooner you will start to see the change in how you view bad days and good ones, and it will be a much needed change. Final one, lesson number 15 for 15 years. And this is that you should never procrastinate because 99.9% of the time it will epically backfire on you. I have learned this the very hard way. I procrastinated studying for my math test until I was in that class getting ready to take the test. I ended up cramming some random nonsense and doing two practice problems 10 minutes before the test. And I ended up getting a 96, but that's not the point. I probably would have gotten a 100 had I actually studied. Procrastinating really and truly just like sucks. So don't do it. If I've learned anything the hardest way possible, it's that procrastination really sucks. Procrastinating things might seem like a good idea in the moment, but it will ultimately backfire on you really hard. We all have probably done this at some point or the other, so make it your goal to avoid procrastination because it really just like kills your productivity and your ability to get things done. Just do it now and be done with it, and the problem will quit nagging you, and then everything's over. Case in point, don't procrastinate and do things now instead of later because now is always the better option. Okay, so that was all I had to say for this episode. Hopefully that was fun and helped you guys a bit. It's like a little bit different from my normal episodes, and I thought it was fun. I don't know, I had a lot of fun creating this one. Anyways, I really and truly hope that at least one of these life lessons will stick with you. Um, just one. To end this episode off today, I have a quote for you guys from Walt Disney. It goes, "The best way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." Bye, guys. Rate, review, follow, and share this podcast. Please, please, please go follow me on Instagram at the Glow Up Guide Podcast. Drink some water, and I love you all.